Welcome to Women of a Certain Stage, the podcast redefining how we think about menopause. I'm your host, Lauren Turin, a passionate advocate for breaking the stigma and empowering individuals to navigate this transformational stage of life with confidence and clarity. Here, we're diving into a new era of menopause support, featuring expert advice, real-life stories, and actionable insights. Whether you're curious about building your personal menopause plan or you're looking to make an impact, you're in the right place. Let's embrace the change together.
Okay, shall we dive in?
Why not? Let's go.
Yay, excellent. So, first of all, before we even start today, would you like to tell us a little bit about where you are from?
I am from Omagh, County Tyrone, in Ireland.
Whereabouts is that?
We are
doesn't know Ireland.
We're way up high now. We're not far from the County Derry and Donegal, so we're up in the north. Yeah, so it's lovely up here.
Beautiful spot.
Yeah, lovely, gorgeous.
Amazing.
Gorgeous.
Have you always lived there?
Country. Sorry?
Have you always lived there?
Yeah, I've lived here most of my life, probably 4 or 5 years. Lived in England, lived in Liverpool. Loved that now. It's back at home now. I love that there. Yeah. So, yeah, mostly in Ireland all the time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Amazing. The country I've only been to once or twice, so it's somewhere I definitely want to explore more of. So, amazing.
Absolutely, it's gorgeous.
So, tell me a little bit about what lights you up. What brings a smile to your face or brings joy into your life?
So many things, but you know what? This last couple of years is probably the coaching element of things and spending time with ladies and seeing a difference and seeing the journey that they go on. And just, do you know what it is? And I know it sounds so cliche, but it's when you get somebody who starts to believe in themselves and starts to see that person in the mirror. And it's such a lovely time because I always used to say you can see sadness in people's eyes, even when they're smiling. And that breaks my heart. And when you start seeing the difference in somebody and all you've done is ask them the question and they've started to see themselves, it does give me so much light. And not even just as women, like even with my own kids, it's even, I love trying to turn things around and trying to say, right, change the situation or change the way you're looking at it. As we all know, Lauren, there's certain things we can't do. It was like bereavement. You have to go through the journey of it and all, but there's a lot of things that you sit back and you go reflect on it, don't you? And you go, right, why did it not go my way or where did it go this way? And it's a great life lesson. And I'm very lucky. I suppose I've done my mental health and wellbeing coaching about 10 years ago. So I do think it's a massive tool that we're very lucky that we have because it's got me through so many troughs and highs and lows in life. And the fact that, and you know what, it doesn't cost nothing. Once you know it, it's not that it costs anything to do. So when you can pass that on to other people, it's a lovely, lovely feeling. I just get a buzz out of it so much, like always have done.
And I bet you hit the nail on the head with the coaching because coaching is such a powerful but simple skill.
Yeah.
Once you've, like you say, once you've learned it, you've got it. And I think that being able to employ that at home, at work, with your friends, with your family, everywhere, anywhere, just coming to something with that real non-judgmental place of being really curious from a place of wonder and awe and wondering, you know, how, what, why, not even why, but where, when, how.
Yeah.
So thinking about that, you know, what you said there as well, it's helped you through different times in your life. Life's not linear.
Nope.
Like nobody's life's linear, no matter who we look at and no matter how polished and shiny someone might look in the press or the media, we know that their life has got stuff going on in the background as well. So having the power to be able to coach yourself and then to coach other people as well is so fantastic. So what was it that brought you into coaching very originally? What drew you into that space?
God, right, there's such a long story to me. I've probably, so the whole thing, where it all came from was I've been massive about volunteering since I was young. So when Freddie Mercury died, when I was about 13 or 14, broke my heart, needed to find out what he died of, was, you know, HIV/AIDS. And coming over here with a Catholic background, but I came up in a very liberal household, which was very, very lucky, especially in Northern Ireland back in the Troubles times. But I wanted to find out why he died. So I had to write over to the Terence Higgins Trust and get all the details. And then that was me. I always wanted to be in AIDS care. Thought of anybody on their own. And then like Lady Diana, she did break a stigma, which was fabulous. So I was really, I've always been there for the vulnerable and always wanted to be and shout from the rooftops, you know, that kind of a way. So that's where my passions always come from, helping people less fortunate than me. And then after coming back from England, I wanted to do my certificate in counselling, so I started it. And my sister then, Una, She had her beautiful daughter, Caitlin. She's turning 20 now. But Una worked in childcare all her life, did all different things, and postnatal depression had to do with the wallet. Didn't know what was happening, didn't understand it. And so with that there, I remember thinking, it breaks my heart to think there's a woman out there on her own, suffering. You have us, but we don't. She does. So we started as charity, a support group at that time called Support Together. So we started once a month, turning up in the same place for a year. Like 2 women turned up, but bit by bit by bit. It's a fully fledged charity. They've won loads of awards. It's been fantastic. But 10 years ago, me and Una knew there was that transition. So when the mummies were going through their postnatal depression, or it was for the whole family, not just the mummies and daddies as well. But we realised then they were at a crossroads. And it's nearly like when you're at a crossroads just becoming a mother, Lauren, or if you've got the empty nest syndrome, you're at this crossroads and they don't know who they are anymore. So first of all, they became a parent, and then they have postnatal depression, and they're just like, everything's up. So Una came across the mental health wellbeing coaching. Now, I have to say, I remember Una saying when we go and do this, nice days, I thought that American thing. I didn't know what I was going into. I didn't I knew I wasn't a counsellor. So when I did my certificate in counselling, I knew that wasn't my path to go down, go that way. So we did that. And I remember the first session, it was like the first session with you. And I was like, oh my God, this language is so different. And they're telling us what to do. And they're, me and Una's hands were killing us. We were just writing and writing. And we did have other ones on the course who were like nurses or CGT. And me and Una were just grassroots women wanting to go and help other women and other people. And it was just mind blowing. So I'm a massive advocate for it, definitely,
Yeah. So coaching runs through your blood then. It's something it's who you are.
Yeah, and say because I worked in the banking industry for such a long time. Always for the vulnerable, probably more so when the wee girls and have money worries. Like I always said I was never David Williams. The computer says no. You know the way his that. And I said, because if a customer came to me and say the computer did say no, which it can't, was bank to bank, I would always want to have other options for them, especially if it was loans. So it was that kind of, that kind of turning it around, going, right, you said yes, but look at these other options that may be available, your credit union or you're in financial debt, you've got your citizens advice. I never allowed any of my customers to leave, like nobody cared, that way. So
crikey.
It's just
we definitely need more people like you in the financial services industry. Having worked in it myself, I think that that's such a gift. It's such a gift. It just goes to show that some things in life that you really can't teach people. It's just who you are.
Yeah,
it's absolutely. Just who you are at your very core. So, what then brought you into talking about menopause? And because when we first met, you were already talking about it and thinking about it, and had some really good ideas about what you wanted to do. So how did that morph for you?
Well, this is the first time I've ever done anything that I'd been on the journey. So like with Support Together, it was Una, but I just had the massive empathy and didn't want anyone there to. So this was when I really had an awful time and didn't know what was going on. And it was when so what happened was like COVID probably brought a positive thing about COVID, allowing us to do jobs that we weren't able to do. Like I'm in the west of Northern Ireland, so our infrastructure here is really bad. We've no train or anything else. So when you're in the banking and the branch, there's only a certain level you can go up to, and then it stops, especially when you're part time. So when COVID came, all these opportunities arose. So I was able to get a different job, started working from home. And I'm a social person. And then I started working for the kind of private customers, and all of a sudden, the only way I can describe it is something as simple as ordering a checkbook. Could I find how to do it? And then you have nobody to go, how would they do that? So that was grand. So it was like a silent killer nearly, because I never really overthought. Like I was very, very confident in my job. Like I've worked for the bank for like nearly 20 years at that point, and it really started to scare me, because it got to the point then I didn't want to open my laptop. It got to the point I then didn't want to, like my boss at the time was like, Brenda, would you take the training today? And I'd be like, no, I'm not equipped to do it. Brenda, you've been here long. Oh, I don't care. They know far more than me. They've been doing this. And that there, see, all I can describe is this tightness here. Yeah. And going, well, yeah. I'm like, and who am I? That massive. What am I doing in my life? Why am I doing this? And I know there was the lifestyle factors outside of it, reflecting back massively, and that isolation definitely had a massive impact. So it was snowballing. One was affecting the other, like the dominoes kind of effect. And I remember my boss one time saying, Brenda, you're definitely perimenopause. I never heard of it, Lauren, never heard of it in my life. I heard of menopause and that was it. I was like, right, do you think so? And she says, oh, definitely. She was a couple of years older than me. I mean, her had a good relationship. So that's how she knew she could talk to me. As I know some bosses probably wouldn't be able to. So I went to the doctor. I am the cliche person who went to the doctor. You're too young for that. So I'm 47 now. So that must have been, 44? And I was like, right, but why am I feeling like this here? Did the blood test, came back okay, and that was grand. And I was like, right, okay. And that's where you feel so alone. And that's where you start to really doubt who you are and your capabilities of life on its own. And what he called, and I remember then, hear me, I remember. I actually don't remember what I was going to say.
That has to happen at least one in every episode. It has to happen. It wouldn't be an episode about menopause otherwise, would it?
I swear to goodness. But it was just that whole, like, and my boss at the time, like, I have to say she was brilliant, but I remember looking up on Dementia UK or one of them ones, and see now when you hear so many people doing that, because I genuinely thought I was losing my mind. Genuinely.
That was my story.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's the most scariest thing in the world. You see, when I went onto the website and it give you the difference of the one and all, I thought, right, okay, no, I do know my family and I do remember to go out for a walk where I am. So there's something, but what actually is going on with me? And it just kept going and going and snowballing. I'm no good at my job. I'm no good at this. What's my kid think of me? Because when I've worked from home, I changed my wee closet into my office. So it really was like a hole in the wall. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. My way to see me working here. Is this me really? That's what life is for me. Yeah. And it was horrendous. Hit rock bottom. Hit really rock bottom in the sense I made a mistake at work that I've never made before in my life, ever. Wow. And that really, really scared me. And then that's when the boss, then I went off work. Then eventually went on HRT and antidepressants. And I remember it was around that October time that happened. And I remember just saying to one of my friends, I really need Brenda. I need Brenda to be sitting opposite me as a coach. I knew I wasn't deeply depressed, but I knew them tools I needed to get me out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just wanted Brenda. Do you know when you know what you've done for other people? And you're like, I just need that back. And do you know what? Bit by bit got there and definitely, and I left the bank and then I was due to go back to work. My team was being changed to a male, and I hate saying this because my boss was so good. But when I was going back to like a male boss, and I just thought, you know what I'm going through here, and I just thought, you know what, that's all I needed, and I've never turned back. Do you know? Wow. So I started then, so I went out and did work for a lovely lady in interior design, and then that was my kind of creative side, back into doing creative coaching, and I was like, right, you know what? I need to go out and help women if I'm going through with mine and just to let them see that there is the old saying, light at the end of the tunnel, and we can live it. We can live with it as long as we understand it. Yeah. And so then I started at the duck. So basically, if it was a duck and a quack like a duck, it's a duck. So if you've got the symptoms, it is what it is.
I love the title.
You know what I mean? So it's a bit of graphic. So I really wanted to get more in depth. And then I seen your thing kept popping up all the time. I said, right, okay. So then I inquired about it and the rest was history. So here we are now.
Amazing. And what was it about going through the journey of the diploma to qualify as a menopause coach that really spoke to you or really resonated with you as you went through the program? What were the key points for you?
It was a massive journey in the sense of, so I love learning. Now, I don't like doing tests, no, but I just love information, love learning. So all the great speakers that came on, like Dr. Eden and Kelly Dixon and Vikram and all them, including yourself, I was just loving it, right? And it was lovely because I started like a monthly menopause meetup. And so I was able to kind of go, God, girls, I learned this here. This is something else. And you're always, and I was probably very lucky because I'd been doing coaching now, mostly group coaching. But you're always saying this is the non-advice. So girls, the information I've given you doesn't mean I'm an expert in this. So I probably was more lucky in that sense that I knew I was saying it anyway. Do you know what I mean? But then we came to the coaching part, and this is why I have to laugh and you have to give me a minute because I was in the middle of starting my business still. So my business was massively in the front of my head. So that first day you tell us to sit down and look at the date and where do we want to be and all, I was all about the business, right? And then the next week going, right, this is not really resonating with me. And then it wasn't until about Christmas, and I had, after Christmas, knowing we were going back, and I had to sit down, which I think a lot of us are guilty of not doing, I had to reflect, Lauren. I had to step back and go, right, the amount of gorgeous ladies in our course who are getting so much out of it, and I'm not. So obviously it's something that I'm doing. What is it I'm not getting? I just was like, so I'm not getting about this. So I sat down with the coaching that we had done so far. On about having an aha moment. I was like, Brenda, this wasn't about your business. This was about you and your list and everything else. And then once I had that, and I thought, right, okay, so let's do this now. So when we went back then, I totally looked at it in a different way. I loved it in the right way. So when I went to get the practice clients, I decided to do it along with them at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it was just mind-blowing. And it was mind-blowing in the sense that probably because I'm still in that hole, you can't have too much in the head. You can't see when you go on social media, it's just too much. That's why I try to do my monthly meetups, break it down so that we aren't getting overloaded. It's information overload, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But with that 7-week menopause plan, it was just a tiny bit. And I kept saying to ladies, you're just taking a wee bit at a time. We're not making massive changes. And you see, doing that there gives them hope. And like the difference in the two ladies has been unbelievable. They know they're still on the journey, but it's knowing that that they can live with menopause. Does that make sense? Live along with it and have a different life. And I have to say, I'm kind of glad the journey I went on, because I was saying it probably along with them and going, oh my goodness, it's like even just the hydration, something as simple as that. Just changing my tea to herbal tea because I take sugar and tea. We simple, like we weren't asking to take gallons of water, asking to do this. And you see, if you turn around to me now and I had to go to the gym and you had to stop this and stop that and do this, I would just be, sorry, I can't do that.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You can't tell someone what to do.
No.
So I'm really curious. I want to dive into this a little bit. I want to come back to what your practice clients took away from it, but I also want to dive back a little bit because I think this is really common. When we go to learn something, we go in, we want all the knowledge, all the information, we want to consume it, and then go out and use it. And I really felt that when I looked at the market and I looked at not just menopause coaching, but other coaching programs, if you don't deliver and have it delivered to you, you haven't got a first-hand experience of what it's like or what you might get out of it. And what you're going to get out of it is going to be different from what your clients get out of it. And that's going to be evolving and changing as you grow and morph as a coach, because you've personally got so many modalities that you can use and can apply when you're working with someone going through menopause. So was that quite a different way of being taught, by being asked to actually submit yourself to being the coachee for those 7 weeks?
No, absolutely not. See, when we did our mental health and wellbeing coaching, we were coached as well. So I knew that was part of it. But I don't know whether I was trying to, I genuinely, and that's why I think it's very important for all of us to understand you have to reflect sometimes. Like I could have went through and says, oh God, I just don't like this. This is, I don't know what's going on. We've never doing this. We're never doing that. But I'm very good at sitting down and going, not that I self-blame, but it's like, it is reflection. And I had to sit down and go, right, Brenda, what is going on here? Because so many women are doing so amazing during this coaching and you're not getting nothing out of it. And it was when I went back to my first and I looked at what I read as the goal, I realised I'm right about my, there's nothing to do with business. This is to do with me, that way. And so that was probably wherever I was. I knew in November, December, loads of different workshops coming up. I was really, really busy. So I probably wasn't putting my full heart into the listenings. I wasn't actively listening.
Now, what is it we learn about being coaches?
Exactly.
The irony.
Yeah. So it was a massive learning curve, and I'm so glad I'm been on the journey in that sense, because then you can talk. I think it's great when you talk to your coachees or your client as such, and you can tell them how important it is to reflect. A lot of people say, oh, you can blame this and blame that, but you need to sit back and reflect on the journey and see what way is working. And once I realised that's what it was, and I started then to follow it as I should have done at the start, I would have been. But then then again, look at the journey I'm on now with the clients that I had, and you know what I mean? Like I always think there's a reason for it, and that's me turning it all around. Like I don't think I've lost 10 weeks that we did it as a group. No. Definitely not. But it's definitely, it was definitely a wee bit of an aha moment.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for you as well, because I also believe that we are exactly where we're meant to be at any given time.
Yeah.
And that was just destined to be part of your journey.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason. So tell me about your practice clients. What did they take away from it? What were their kind of aha moments or breakthroughs through their journey with you?
I think they had a mixture because it was nice for me because I've done a lot of group coaching. So I used the Japanese, I don't know if it's called proverb, that when something's broken, put back together. It's even more beautiful when it's broken. So I started using that with the mummies at postnatal. And you know what, here we go now, look what you saw, blah, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a lot of, I'm very visual, so I have a lot of like antidotes to kind of say to them, well, imagine this here. And so combining your menopause plan and my way of going, I got a lot of ahas from both of them, which was lovely because then it gave me that wee bit of confidence going, you know what, Brenda, you can do it as a one-to-one, not just as but the likes of something as simple as the hydration. I did think our first session with the 2 clients was a massive, to me, it'd have to be a bit longer for me to do it because it was so emotional for them. And maybe it's because they're able to sit down and chat about the menopause or chat about where they are, kind of a thing. It's not that it was a counselling session by any means. It's more, as you know, the coaching and just them being able to say, where are you now? Yeah. And then after that, I don't think menopause was chatted about once. And that's the truth. But that wee bit of hydration, they even said they have that wee bit of difference. Like one example, or like one of the clients was when she came to me, she said, I wake up in the morning, I'm looking forward to getting to bed again. So resonated with me. Do you know that way? But then when she was finished, she was like, Brenda, I can't wait for the day ahead of me. You know?
Oh, what a difference. What a difference.
But that there was even halfway through. She was like, Brenda, I'm not tired during the week. And then a bit of the feedback she was saying then one day, because we're always saying we have to feel it ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves and love ourselves. And sometimes from everyone else, we don't see it. But she was feeling it. That was lovely. And you could sit, and I says, look, you're coming in and you look different because you're sitting different, you're standing different. And then she says, Brenda, she went to get like a what do you call it, like a body talk done. And she hadn't had it done in a long time. And the woman's face says, oh, God, there's something so different about you. She says, you're actually sparkling. And that was lovely, even though because she felt it herself. It wasn't that she was hearing this and didn't feel it. Do you know what I mean? And she had so many different, and the 2 girls, just I think it's because I always do the whole looking in the mirror as well. You know, you need to look at that lady. Don't be just putting on the mascara and look at her in the eyes. She needs to be seen. Look that way. So I kept that going along with it. So it was nice that I was able to plan my wee bit as well as then use your structure, you know?
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love it. So what's next? Where are you taking this? How are you going to drive this forward and incorporate all of your knowledge? Because the other thing I think is so important is that even although you were a coach before, I think whether someone's a coach or not a coach, we don't come at this as brand new menopause coaches. We've already got loads of skills, knowledge and experience that we bring along. We're just adding menopause coaching to all of that and putting it in the mix. So how are you planning on moving this all forward?
Probably once they get fully qualified or graduated, what's the better word? I think I'm thinking about doing like a one-to-one offer and then an offering of a one and like say 2 friends or 3 friends maximum. So then that's the affordability, because I'm very much about people. I'm such a grassroots Lord. It's so, see, starting this business, my mentors have had some crack with me. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? I have to do it. Right. So my one-to-one, yes. And then you've got your group of 3, which would be friends probably. Yeah. And then maybe a group of 6. And that'll be like, I put out the dates, kind of like what you did with your work, your course, and say whoever wants to join, do it. And I do think, because I can see the difference, and I'm not nervous in the group of 6 because I can see the difference yours made, and there was many of us, 40 odd and that, you know? Yeah. So, and it's just tailoring it to suit It's a Duck now, and to suit my language and to suit who I am. The lovely thing was when I was doing one of my practice clients, one of them was Zoom. So now I've got confidence. As before, I would have thought there's not a chance I could do this via Zoom. So
really?
Yeah. I didn't think it would have as big as impact, Laura, I'll be honest. Right. But the fact that it has, and it's been in a different country as such, so so many brilliant aha moments for me, which has been fabulous, I have to say.
Amazing. So, guys, we could ask you just to edit at this bit, 25, 35. Can you just say something to me? Yeah? I've still got you. My back. I've just come back from Cornwall, and the headphones have been used while I've been away, and they just told me it's low. So it's fine. I don't want to die while we're halfway through. So okay, the guys will edit this, but it was a natural break anyway. Okay, what did I want to ask you? Going at 26. So I'm really excited for the people you're going to be working with going forward. Are you looking particularly to work with any geographical area or a particular type of woman, or who is your ideal client going forward?
My ideal client is the lady who feels lost. And that could be any age. Like when I first started at the doc, it was kind of like, I'm only going to work with women over 40, but even from the training from yourselves, early menopause could at any age, you've got your onset menopause as such. So it definitely is that whole feeling lost, Lauren. It's such an awful feeling, and it's just not nice. It's nice that next to yourself, you've had your journeys, you've your story, and look, you're showing people that we can move on and we can get better. As such, and same as me, and so my geographical, I would have said, is just Northern Ireland. Now I'm like, I don't know actually. The word is my oyster. The word is my oyster. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's just kind of seeing what is out there, and it's just like I definitely want to get into the corporate side of things. And do the talks. I'm very lucky. I've had a few talks coming up now. Yeah. But I'm good at being the grassroots. They don't go on and dictate. They don't go on and tell. Yeah. It's just being lived experience and kind of giving away a few coaching tips, of how to kind of cope with it. And then hopefully they'll be able to go off and then research a wee bit. So, but definitely the ideal client is just a lady who's lost.
And I think, going through menopause at 37, it was the last thing in my mind that it could possibly have been menopause as a new mum. There were many, many, many other things going on at that point in time. So I would love to have had someone like you around to just be there, to listen, to hold space, to help me kind of figure out my way forward and stop me from spending, a couple of years of not sleeping and thinking I'd lost the plot and having to go and rock in the corner in a home somewhere being looked after by someone else. So I just jumped from how I was feeling to early onset dementia. There was no concept that it could have been anything else. So when you were talking about looking at, Dementia UK and the website and seeing the differences, and you said something else which really resonated with me, and I think will resonate with a lot of other people too, which is that you knew you weren't depressed, but you are having experience of depressive-like symptoms. Yeah, and we do. Like, we just know in ourselves that we're not depressed. It's not depression, but it's just so similar. And yet it's not, because we are still getting up, we are still getting on with the day, and we are still doing things. But the world just feels like a much smaller place, and the connection with other people is a lot less. And I think that's something you're unique in what you offer, is the creating that space for that connection, creating, especially when you're talking about the postnatal depression, and creating spaces and time for people to come together, and just being consistent over a year of creating space for people to come. And then as people get confident, and they know that you're going to be there the next week and the next week and the next week, that they will start to show up. Because people often, when I speak to grads, they'll say, oh, well, I did a couple of sessions and no one showed up. I'm like, yeah, but you need to just keep on doing it and being consistent, because someone will see it, but they won't have the confidence to turn up. And then they'll see it again, and then they'll be too scared to turn up on their own. And then they might talk to a friend about coming, but they might not. And if they just keep on seeing it and seeing it and seeing it, when the time's right, and they'll show up. So absolutely. I really love that space that you've created. What would you say to someone who's maybe out there having their own personal experience of menopause, or maybe witnessing someone else going through menopause and thinking about joining the Menopause Coach Diploma? What would you kind of counsel them in terms of advice or thoughts around what they should do and how they should approach that?
I definitely think if it keeps coming up in their head, then they have to reach out and even do like the wee free courses that you would kind of do to see if that's what they need, and then reach out to you and have the one-to-one, because you're always going to have that feeling whether it's right or not. And what do we always say? Listen to your gut, but like one thing I would always say to a lot of people is turn up if it's safe, but you can't turn back time, and you can always walk away. So even reaching out to you and booking that discovery call doesn't mean that they've signed up for it. Do you know that way? They can go away and then they can think about it. But if they want to keep thinking and thinking, and then 2 years have passed, well, that's 2 years lost of them not getting to where they wanted to be. And like, that's one thing us as women, we have to understand as well, we're never, ever too old to go down the path we want to. And I was never as glad. There was a woman over here, and I'd love to get to meet her. She's from down Dublin, and she's 90, or somebody may correct me, or just over it. and she graduated from Trinity back in October, November time in English literature because life allowed her to at that time. And I'm just like, is that not proof that we're never, the world has allowed us now to never be too late to do what we want to do? And I think that's when somebody thinks, go and inquire about it. Doesn't mean you have to sign up. But when you do inquire about it, you'll find that they'll probably just reach you on the side and go, no, this is what I want to do. Definitely.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm so grateful for your time today and the opportunity to just get to chat a little bit more, find out a little bit more about you. And I love what you shared with the charity as well. Is that something that's still going? Is that something people can still reach out about as well?
Support together. Yeah, we're going now. It must be 15 years. There's got two gorgeous ladies working for them, and they won an award there. First time BBC Community Award was in Northern Ireland. So they won one of them as well. So I've been standing on the sideline cheering on for about the last 9 years, you know, so it's just amazing to see them doing so well. So it's fabulous,
Oh, amazing. Anything I haven't asked you today that you'd like to share with people listening?
Oh, crikey now, Lauren, you've put me on the spot here. I don't know. Come here. It's all about having a bit of fun. I am a wee bit different in the sense it's not all about serious. It's creative coaching. So it's all about getting the mind a wee bit creative as well. And it's genuinely, whatever the way this might sound, people is looking at that person in the mirror, Lauren. It's something I'm so passionate about, and seeing them, because you deserve to be seen by you.
Yeah.
You know?
I know when I first did my transformational coaching after my health coaching, which I'd done after my personal performance coaching, I remember having an exercise where I had to look in the mirror and tell myself that I loved myself. And I was thinking, this is so American. And it's like, I don't like this. And then I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to use with the client, I'm going to have to try and do it myself. And so I really resonate with what you're saying. Sometimes just taking yourself just on the edge of our comfort zone and doing it in our own safe space in our own time. And it really does shift the dynamics 100%. And the way your brain sees you and our relationship with ourselves, because this is where it all starts. So
we spend 24/7 with ourselves, Lauren. So it's the most important person in the room. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I try. One of the workshops I did about a year ago, and this was my first time ever bringing a mirror in each. And it was like a 4-week workshop. And I just said, all I want you to do is look in the mirror. I'm not wanting you to say anything. I just want you to look at that person in the eyes. And one of the ladies especially had to leave. And I kind of was like, right, have I done something wrong? I felt really bad, I'll be honest. I didn't want to, but it was what it was. It was a massive aha moment for her in the sense that she'd never truly looked at herself and loved herself. And so it was a big exercise, but it just shows that we're all guilty of it. And as I say, because I try and say to the kids, even like we're with ourselves 24/7. So we need to learn to love that person. Because once you learn to love and respect yourself, you know then what to expect from other relationships other than that. So, but it's a hard one. Hard one, Lauren. It's a hard one.
It is. But it's such a beautiful one to finish up on. And then something I would definitely invite other people to consider doing. Brenda, thank you so much for your time today. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to speak with you. And we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for joining me on Women of a Certain Stage. I hope today's episode inspired you to think differently about menopause and the incredible opportunities this stage of life brings. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with 3 friends who need to hear this message. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps us reach even more people. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at Lauren Turin, or visit our website at womenofacertainstage.com to learn more about menopause coaching, inspiring events, and corporate training. Until next time, let's continue making a difference, one conversation at a time.